Hello students, welcome to our today's video on Pelton turbine. In this video, we will study about the velocity triangle, work done and hydraulic efficiency for the Pelton turbine. So let's start the video. The jet of the water from the nozzle strikes the bucket at the splitter, which splits up the jet into two parts. We have already studied the construction of the Pelton wheel. We know that the jet of water strikes the splitter, which is situated at the center of this runner or bucket. This bucket consists of two hemispherical bowls, and at the middle of it there is a splitter. On splitter, this jet of water strikes and it divides the flow into two parts. One glides over the one hemispherical bowl and the other glides over the other hemispherical bowl. These parts of the jet glides over inner surface and comes out at the outer edge. So they enter at the inner surface at this splitter and then glides over smoothly to come out of the outer edge on the each side. The splitter is the inlet of the tip, so we can say that the splitter is the inlet where the water jets enter, and the outer edge of the bucket is the outlet tip of the bucket. So this edge potentially be the outlet tip of the bucket. So this edge will be on the both sides, so there will be two velocity triangles, similar velocity triangles on the two sides. So for simplification we will draw only one velocity triangle, one at the inlet and one at the outlet on one side only. The inlet velocity triangle is drawn at the splitter and the outlet velocity triangle at the outer edge of the bucket. So we can see potentially here a cross-sectional area of the splitter, and this is connected to the runner. So the runner and the splitter are connected like this. The inlet velocity triangle is drawn at the splitter, which is potentially a straight lines. Why these are the straight line we will study in the next slide. And the outlet velocity triangle will be like this, which is at the outlet tip of the bucket. So let H be the net head acting on the Pelton wheel. Suppose this Pelton wheel is acting under a head capital H, then we know that the capital H is equal to Hg minus Hf. Hg is the gross head minus Hf is the frictional losses. So how the frictional losses are calculated? These are calculated by the Darcy-Weisbach formula, which is equal to this 4FLV square upon 2GD. Okay, where D star is the diameter of the penstock, N is the speed of the wheel in RPM, capital D is the diameter of the wheel, small d is the diameter of the jet. These are the usual notations which we will use here. We note that the velocity of the jet we can calculate by using this equation root of 2gh, where h is the head over a particular thing. So in this case there is a velocity of the jet at inlet, so the total head acting on this, net head acting on this is capital H. We have seen here it is the capital H, it is the net head, hence the velocity of the jet at the inlet of the tip is the root of 2gh. Also here u, which is equal to the tangential velocity. So u1 is the tangential velocity at the inlet, u2 is the tangential velocity at the outlet, and both these tangential velocities will be equal as it is a symmetric part, hence the tangential velocities at the inlet and outlet will be same. We can calculate it by using the formula pi dn by 60. Using this formula we can calculate the tangential velocity. So the velocity triangle at the inlet will be straight line. Velocity triangle at the inlet will be a straight line because the jet of the water is striking perpendicular to this vertical axis on in which this bucket is situated. Means the direction of the velocity of the jet is equal to the direction, tangential direction of the velocity of the this guide bucket or buckets. Hence the velocity triangles potentially will become as a straight line. In this case, if v1 is the velocity of the jet, and u1 is the tangential velocity at the inlet, then the relative velocity will be equal to, relative velocity at the inlet will be equal to this velocity of the jet minus tangential velocity. So tangential velocity at inlet is equal to tangential velocity at outlet is equal to u. We have already stated here above. Hence this u1 can be written as only u. Hence relative velocity will be v1 minus u. So the value of this relative velocity will be v1 minus u. And this vw1 is equal to v1. In this velocity triangle, we have seen in the velocity triangle, the inlet velocity triangles basically are like this, where this one is the v1, this is the vr1, this is the vf1, this is the u1, and this is the vw1. In this case, as this angle alpha, theta, this alpha and theta angle, as this alpha is equal to 0 and this theta is equal to 0, so due to these angles are 0, what will become? This v1 will become equal to this vw1. Okay, hence will become as v1 and alpha is equal to 0 and theta is equal to 0, means there will be 0 angle between the direction of the jet and the tangential velocity of the blades or buckets. From the velocity triangle at the outlet, now we will see the outlet velocity triangle. Here relative velocities at the outlet will be equal to relative velocities at the inlet, and vw2 will be equal to vr2 cos phi minus u2. We can see if we have taken this angle phi, and then from this triangle we can say that cos phi is equal to this u2 plus vw2 divided by vr2. Hence if you potentially simplify this equation for vw2, we will get like vw2 is equal to vr2 cos phi minus u2. Okay, now we have already seen the force exerted by a jet of water in the direction of the motion is given by this particular equation. F of x is equal to rho a v1 multiplied by vw1 plus vw2. So basically the original equation is like this: f of x is equal to rho a v1 vw1 plus or minus vw2. So here what is this plus or minus? If angle beta is acute, then we will take it is a positive. Here in this case the angle beta is acute, hence we have taken this as positive. If the angle beta is obtuse, then we will take this vw1 minus vw2. Okay, this is explained here. As the angle beta is an acute angle, positive sign is taken. Also this is the case of series of vents. The mass of water striking is rho a v1. So what is the mass of the water which is striking on this bucket? It is equal to rho into a into, so a into v1 is the discharge, so discharge multiplied by density, it will become as mass. Okay, so this will be the mass of the water which is striking here. Now the what is small a? Small a in this case is explained as small a is the area of the jet. So if you consider small d is the diameter of the jet which is striking on the buckets and coming out from the nozzle, then small a is the area of the jet. Hence the expression for the work done will become as force multiplied by displacement. It will equal to work done. So what is the force? Force is equal to this fx multiplied by what is displacement? Displacement is small u. So force we have seen in the above formula as rho a v1 vw1 plus vw2, and the velocity or displacement is equal to u, which is equal to a tangential velocity, and unit will be Newton meter per second. So Newton meter per second means potentially be it is the joule per second, because Newton meter is the joule, so it is joule per second. So this much will be the work done by the jet on the runner per second. So in the form of power, this can be written as rho a v1 vw1 plus vw2 into small u divided by 1000. So if we divide it by 1000, then this joule per second will become as kilojoule per second, and the kilojoule per second is also known as the kilowatt. So in the form of power, which is generally expressed in the form of kilowatt, we can write this equation like this. Now the work done per second per unit weight of the water striking per second. Now if we want to find the work done per second per unit weight of the water striking per second, then we need to divide this equation, this above equation, by the weight of water striking per second. So what is the work done per second? Work done per second is this rho a v1 vw1 plus vw2 into u. So this is the work done per second and per unit weight of water striking per second. So what is the weight of the water striking per second? So rho a v1, it is the mass of the water striking per second. If we multiply this mass by small g, it will be equal to weight of the water striking per second. So after simplifying this, we will get the equation as rho a v1 will get cancelled. It will be 1 upon g vw1 plus vw2 multiplied by u. So that this is the equation. So this will be the equation for the work done per second per unit weight of the water striking per second. Now the energy supplied to the jet at the inlet in the form of kinetic energy and is equal to the 1/2 mu square. We know that the kinetic energy is equal to 1/2 multiplied by mass into velocity square. So in this case the velocity is at the inlet, it is v1, velocity of the jet. So the kinetic energy per second will be equal to this kinetic energy of the jet per second 1/2 mass, here is the rho into a into v1, and velocity v is equal to v1. So the equation will become like this. Now if you want to find the hydraulic efficiency, you know that the hydraulic efficiency is equal to work done per second divided by kinetic energy of the jet per second. Okay, so the work done per second we have already calculated. The work done per second, it is equal to this rho a v1 vw1 plus vw2 multiplied by this u and divided by kinetic energy, this 1/2 into rho a v1 into v1 square. If we simplify this rho a v1 will get cancelled, then it will become as 2 multiplied by into bracket vw1 plus vw2 into u divided by v1 square. Now this equation of hydraulic efficiency is in the form of this vw1 means the velocity of whirl at inlet, and this vw2 means the velocity of whirl at the outlet. But we don't know the velocity of whirl at the inlet and outlet directly, so we need to convert it in the form of like v1, which we already know, the velocity of the jet of the water. The u means the tangential velocity at the inlet and outlet. So we will convert it into these forms. So we already know that vw1 is equal to this vw1 is equal to v1. From the inlet velocity triangle, this v1 and vw1 has the same values, so we can potentially replace the vw1 by v1. Now what about this vw2? This vw2 is equal to, we have already seen this equation, vw2 is equal to vr2 cos phi minus u2 from this outlet velocity triangle using this cos phi. Then vw2 is equal to vr2 cos phi minus u2. We know that u2 is equal to small u. Now this vr2 cos phi, so we have to find this value for this vr2. So we will calculate the value for vr2 from this. We know that vr1 is equal to this relative velocity at the inlet is equal to this v1 minus this u1. So v1 minus u1, here u1 is equal to u, hence it is equal to v1 minus u at the inlet. Now relative velocity at inlet is equal to v1 minus u. Now we know that the relative velocity at inlet vr is equal to relative velocity at the outlet, hence the relative velocity at outlet will also become as v1 minus u. So we will replace vr2 by v1 minus u here, hence replacing this VR2 by V1 minus U, we will get the equation for VW2 like this. VW2 is equal to V1 minus U cos phi minus U. Now substituting these values of VW1 and VW2 in the above equation means this equation, then we will get the equation like this. Hydraulic efficiency is equal to 2 multiplied by into the bracket V1. Instead of VW1 we have replaced it as V1, and instead of VW2 we have replaced it by V1 minus U cos phi minus U. Outside the bracket multiplied by U divided by V1 square. So after simplifying this, we will get the equation for the hydraulic efficiency like this. 2 into the bracket V1 minus 1 into another bracket 1 plus cos phi multiplied by small u divided by V1 square. So this is the expression for the hydraulic efficiency for a Pelton wheel. Now to find the maximum hydraulic efficiency for a particular value of V1, means when the jet velocity is kept as constant, and for this particular jet velocity if you want to find what is the maximum hydraulic efficiency, then we need to take a derivative of this hydraulic efficiency equation and compare it with the 0. Hence by taking the derivative of the above equation and comparing it with 0, we know that this 1 plus cos phi, this term is a constant, as we are taking the maximum hydraulic efficiency for a particular value of V1, hence V1 square is also constant. d du of 2u V1 minus 2u V square, 2u square is equal to 0. Hence finding the derivative of this term, we will get as in terms of u 2v1 minus 2u square's derivative is minus 4u. It is equal to 0. Hence value of u is equal to v1 divided by 2. So this is the important, u is equal to v1 by 2, where u is the tangential velocity and v is the velocity of the jet. So what does this equation suggest? This equation suggests that the hydraulic efficiency of a Pelton wheel will be maximum when the velocity of the wheel is half of the velocity of the jet of the water at inlet. Means if the velocity of the wheel is half of the velocity of jet at the inlet, then the hydraulic efficiency will be maximum. The expression for the maximum velocity can also be obtained by substituting this value in hydraulic efficiency equation. If we substitute this value in the hydraulic efficiency equations, then we will get like this: maximum hydraulic efficiency is equal to 2 multiplied by, instead of u we will replace v1 by 2. So instead of wherever there is a u, we have replaced it as by v1 by 2. Here we have replaced it by v1 by 2. After simplifying this, we will get as 1 plus cos phi divided by 2. So we can say that the maximum hydraulic efficiency is equal to 1 plus cos phi divided by 2. Okay, where phi is the this angle. So this angle means it is the angle between the relative velocity and the direction of the bucket or direction of the wheel velocity. So also it can be calculated by this angle of deflection. So if the angle of deflection is 160, then this phi can be calculated like this: 180 minus 160. So 180 degree minus 160 degree, so phi can be calculated like this. It is equal to 20 degree. So using this we can find out this value of the phi, and using this value of the phi we can easily find the hydraulic efficiency, maximum hydraulic efficiency for the Pelton wheel. So these are the equation for the work done and maximum hydraulic efficiency for the Pelton wheel. Thank you. For more videos like this, you can subscribe to departmental YouTube channel Mechanical Engineering GHRAM Jalgaon.